To some, there's never going to be enough evidence. So I'm going to cover some basics of belief. Many will say that the Bible was written to control people, to start a religion or revolution. And I'm not the first one to say it, but I'm sure they would have done a better job if they wanted to do that. They would have made their king, our savior, Messiah, uh, uh, not poor. They would have made him a lot more grandiose, like a king. He would have ridden in on a horse or a chariot instead of a donkey. He wouldn't have been killed, and then killed as if he didn't accomplish anything after that. Even when Jesus was performing his miracles, he didn't want anyone to know. He would say, do not tell anyone except for the priest, but he didn't want anyone to know. He didn't want that sort of attention. And if you think, if the Bible was written, for that very same reason, or for it to be known, Jesus was somebody that probably would have want everybody to know, like he's putting on a show for people. But when he did these miracles, he didn't want anyone to know. He wanted to keep it a secret. Even in the Gospels, when he rose from the dead, it was the women that found the tomb empty first. And during that time, women weren't very highly regarded. So, with all of this being said, it's not starting to sound, or it doesn't sound like a story that's, made to control people or control the masses, to start a revolution or a religion to do that. And to be honest, there's never going to be enough evidence for those that truly want to believe. There's just never going to be enough evidence at all. I myself, of course, am a believer, but I'm also an overthinker. I'm what you would call a doubting Thomas, because even with the miracle that I witnessed years ago, in times where I've seen God work in my life, and I know it was Him, I still found reasons to dismiss it, or to think that it wasn't Him, or it was just some natural happy chance. But at the same time, I want to believe. I want to set myself aside, um, and believe that there's something higher than myself, that I'm not my own God. And there are a lot of people that say they want the truth, but they really do not want the truth. They're looking for more reasons to disprove him than they are to find ways to have a relationship with him, let alone to do any research to see if he really existed and how he has affected us and humanity. And to have a relationship with him, that can be done anywhere. You don't have to go to the church. You could do that in the comfort of your own home. I mean, literally anywhere, if you truly seek and if you truly want to believe. But people do not want to believe. There are those that really don't want to believe because they don't want to have to answer to anyone. They don't want to have to live by a set of rules or guidelines or something that governs them when we're the created. We're not the creator. And most people will go out of their way not to believe. Let's say, like, for instance, the case with near-death experiences, NDEs, and how there are some that say it's DMT. It's just a flood of chemicals, right? If that was the case, how would the body even know to provide that sort of tranquil peace in death at probably a most traumatizing time, or one of the most fearful times? But how would the body even know to provide that sort of tranquil peace? It's like a fail-safe plan to keep from panicking and suffering. How would the body know to do that unless that was by design? How would the body even know to do that, to make you feel at peace? That doesn't sound like that would be a product of chaos or random chance or random flood of chemicals. It's just too convenient. And naturally and biblically speaking, we're starting to see the times of the end times, with signs in the sky like we've been seeing. But then there are some that would say, oh, there's just chemtrails, or, it's another rare phenomenon that just doesn't line up with what's going on in the world, which I'm sure if anybody has been paying attention, what's going on is biblical and has been prophesied in the Bible. But like I said, there are those that just don't want to believe. Like I said, you could lead a horse to water, but you really can't make it drink. And unfortunately and realistically, not everyone is going to make it. I mean, we could pray for those people, and we could pray that all come to Christ, or just open up their eyes a little bit, or just think. But when you go out of your way to disprove it, it means you don't want it. You don't want that to be your truth. You don't want that to be your reality. You don't want God in your life. And we have free will. We have that choice. But just know that that choice pretty much sets up your eternity, an eternity with God, with Christ, or an eternity without Him. And some people can't fathom that until they really sit down and think about it. And I encourage everyone to really think about that, because there are no second chances. And all He wants to do is offer love. That's what He wants to do. He wants to offer love at no price. It's completely free. It's the gospel. It's the good news. It's like a fairy tale, too good to be true. But the thing is, it really is true. It is absolutely true. And this was revealed to me in my own experiences, because I was a seeker. I was a doubter, but I was also a seeker. And when you seek, you find. When you knock, that door is answered. So I just encourage those, especially those that do not believe, just to think about that, just to ponder on that. It won't hurt you. It won't cost you anything. But if you truly want that, if you truly want a relationship with Christ, just think about that. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. So until the next video, take care. God bless.